Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be continuing our Age of the Primes reviews with the second Prime of Wave 1, that being Solus Prime. And she is a bit controversial, mostly after people got her in hand. We'll explain that when we get to robot mode, or actually during the transformation, because a lot of the problems can be seen in transformation and in robot mode. But yeah, as we can see here, she is a alien space truck. And honestly, it's not bad, though you can kind of tell when you flip her over that those are the arms, that's the legs back here. Like, you can kind of hide it with the hammer, but if you remove it, yeah. Also, it does roll really nicely thanks to all the wheels being pinned, which is a rare commodity, but makes sense for a Prime. And also, I know it's been said that they don't have plans for remolds of the, Prime figures, but I kind of doubt that they're not having ideas in the back. Because for one, I can definitely see this being made into, a Mistress of Flame character, I think, from, IDW. I wouldn't be surprised if she could say toy out of this mold, because for one, you got the hammer. The only thing you really have to change on the mold is just this part here. But yeah, you can store the hammer pretty much only on one side, only on this side. And if you wanted to store it on top, you could flip out the peg here and, well, stick it up there like a gun, I guess. Kind of make it like a turret emplacement. And also, this is her artifact, the Forge of Solus Prime, more famously used in Transformers Prime, where it looked more like a traditional, double-ended hammer, or like a mallet, more so than anything else. But yeah, it's obviously not as big as that version, and not designed as that. And honestly, I'm kind of glad, because, don't get me wrong, this is meant to take inspiration from a lot of the versions of Solus that exist. And again, this takes more so from the IDW version than anything else, and the Covenant Primus version, obviously. But yeah, I'm kind of glad they went for their own thing. And also, just like how Primus's sword had his symbol on it, his Solus Prime symbol is right here on the top of the hammer, which is pretty cute. Pretty cool in my opinion, that they're bringing the simple stuff again from Prime Wars, or from Power of the Primes, because this is the same symbol that was on the little Pretender figure. But yeah, so let's get this off the side and do some size comparisons. So here she is next to the other two Primes I have, that being PRIMA and Vector. So far, 2 Voyagers and a Deluxe that have so far been, that I have in hand. But don't worry, Megatronus is on the way. So let's get this out of the way. And also, here she is next to Devastation Optimus Prime. So, our most recent Prime offering, because I can't find the 86 version. So there have been rumors of a KO version of the 86 version. If that is reasonably priced, I might get it, but so far it's only just been images and that's it. So, just either got hope for a re-release or something, I don't know. But yeah, so let's get this out of the way, and then let's get to transformation. Okay. So to start off with, it is best to take the panels off here. And this is one of the QC issues that a lot of people have been having with the figure, where either A, this panel is either too loose and just falls off, or cracks and breaks, or is just too loose and, just doesn't tab in at all when, transforming it back into this mode. So, honestly, do recommend honestly, I do recommend being careful of this joint because it, for one, fills in a gap, as you can see here, and also the shoulder joints. So just take that part there, and then flip these up, and yeah, there it goes. So yeah, these little panels here, because they just rotate around and fill in the gaps here, sometimes are at least prone on my copy for just this one side to fall off. So do be wary if during transformation to, well, make sure you not lose them. And also, the back of the vehicle is meant to be transformed like this. I don't know where people are getting where. Here, don't get me wrong. Rotating around like this, as it is in robot mode, is a lot prettier, but that's not how it's supposed to be. I don't understand why people keep mistransforming it. If someone could explain to me the why in the comments, if it's the reason why I just said, then why? It honestly prevents paint chipping if you have it rotated around. So yeah, so. Okay. Untab the legs. Rotate all of this around. You would have done the skirt, like, flip around thing that I already did. The ankles can detach. Open the wheel well back there. And then flip the feet forward. There we go. Flip the whole, like, put the butterfly joints inwards, just like so. Then we can flip out the head. There we go. Flip down the front grille and make sure it tabs into these slots right here. Can't see it. So just like that. Come on. I've had problems with this before. But yeah. So, and there we have the Solus Prime in her robot mode. And honestly, it looks really good. Just like PRIMA, though. Honestly, I do think the gold and the yellow accents help in, like, distinguishing her from her brother, essentially. Because, like, it's not just the gold that's there. It's, like, there's just flat yellow in it, like, right here on the shins, right here in the middle of the, like, forge kilt, or apron, I think that's what it's supposed to be referencing here. And here on the shoulder pads inside the golden circles. But yeah. And also, comparative to the box art, her eyes are supposed to be in purple, but they're in green here, and honestly, I think the green's a lot better. Helps with, like, contrast. Yeah, gold on the shoulders, and honestly, minimal kibble back here. She pretty much incorporates, like, all of the vehicle mode parts into her. Probably helps that her vehicle mode is pretty much an original design, just like PRIMA, who is taller significantly. But then again, Vector Prime is not so much of an original design, considering he's the only other Prime to have a major appearance in animation in Cybertron. And I'm not really counting the Prime Wars cartoon because, yeah, it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. But yeah. So, let's get these out of the way. So, comparison, Devastation, Optimus Prime. So, yeah. So, and now we go over the QC issues that people have had in robot mode. For example, the shoulder pads popping off. Thankfully, I haven't had that happen on mine. The panels here just falling off. I've honestly fixed that up with a little bit of super glue to add a bit of extra friction to, keep it on. The ankles. The ankles, I don't really know how to fix because they just keep popping out. I think it's supposedly due to if I can find it. Yeah, like a mold line right at the tip of where my, like, thumbnail is. It's like that's what's causing it to pop out. But if I shave it down too much, it might just be loose and, you know, pop out forever. Or, like, constantly pop out. So, yeah. Yeah, but on, like, this ankle, it's fine. But it's just, like, one ankle that's the, like, problem child. So, yeah. So, people have had a lot of, like, QC issues with this figure. And I find it very sad because it's still a good figure. It just sucks that either A, you're going to have to Frankenstein the perfect QC copy out of, like, multiple figures, or you're going to have to fix them. Because, yes, while a lot of QCs that have been reported on this figure should not be problems to begin with, again, I am not surprised to expect a few. But then again, a lot of times would be, like, paint naps being, like, oversprayed, or, like, just, like some extra mold flashing or something like that. Not to the extent that people have, you know, had on this figure previously. But yeah, so let's get on to articulation. Articulation, she has a ball joint at the head, can look up and down that far, like side to side. Also, she has hair back here. The detail I tend to forget, but it is part of the art that was in the Covenant of Primus, if I'm correct. Shoulders can do a full 360, can go out that far, and thanks to transformation, we get a butterfly joint, hoping to, well, for like more hammer poses. Though you do have to untab the backpack to get it back in. Full bicep rotation. Elbows can go to a little bit, well, can really go to 90. And also the wrists are on a ball joint, so you can move it inwards and, you know, have, you know, hammer pointing poses. Which is cool. She has a waist rotation. And this time, the hip skirt's on the bottom part of where it rotates, which helps her, which is a lot better compared to how PRIMA did it with, you know, the waist joint being underneath the hip skirts, which made it look awkward when you're, like, posing him. But yeah, the hip skirts, they're separated into 3 different pieces, so you can technically still have, like, part of it down if you want to, you know, move the legs forward like this. Because you technically get a lot upwards, but then again, you're also splaying it outwards a bit. But if you want, like, pure forward, that's really as far as you're going to get. And the legs can go back that far. And also, the hips are offset, just like how PRIMA was. Gets you more articulation, though I do wonder why they did it. So, knees can go to 90. You can technically get a little bit more, thanks to the transformation joint here. Again, ankle rotation, and then ankle pivot, which can go past 90. So yeah, honestly, it is a really good figure. I just am kind of annoyed by all the QC issues that, like, while I haven't gotten severe QC issues on my copy, it kind of sucks that other people have had to deal with it this as well. But yeah, so also accessory. She only really comes with this one accessory, it being her hammer, which can split into 3 pieces. I don't know why the hilt piece can come off. Maybe that's for a future, like, remold thing to replace it, or maybe I think Evan, one of the designers, said that you could use it as a grenade, which is cool, I guess. But honestly, I'm just going to keep it as the end of the hammer. And speaking of how you get the hammer in her hands, you just take out obviously take out the front and then put the handle in. And there you go. She is wielding her hammer. So, obviously not too big compared to hers, but it would be absurd if it was, like, half her, like, body, I guess. But yeah. So, honestly, honestly, it looks really good with her, and because of the butterfly joints, you can get her into, like, two-handed, like, hammer-wielding poses, which you can't really do with most sword characters. I'm kind of glad that, you know, the character who's known for using a hammer a lot of the time can, you know, do it. So, yeah. So, this has been my review for, like, Legacy. I've been doing so many Legacy reviews that saying Age of the Primes, Deluxe Class Solus Prime. Honestly, let me know your thoughts of this figure down in the comments below. And I do wonder, who else could we get from this mold? Because I feel like there is untapped potential so far with a lot of the Age of the Primes molds, at least all the original ones. Actually, well, technically all of them are original, but I mean all the ones that aren't really the G1 characters who have their obvious repaints. But yeah, so this has been me signing off. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. So, peace.